All right. Bob Arum says that Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 2 can break all of the pay-per-view buy records that were set by Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather Jr., which would mean that Deontay Wilder is going to probably be, if Bob Arum is right, the highest paid boxer in one night in the history of boxing. And we're going to talk about that in this video. You know, if you haven't seen my last video that I did, where I talked about all this inflation of Tyson Fury as him being promoted as the number one heavyweight, it really did remind me of what was going on back with Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather Jr., where you had a whole bunch of people saying Manny Pacquiao was the number one fighter in the world, when Floyd Mayweather Jr., in my eyes, was clearly that. You also have one of the fighters who was with Top Rank, and you had another guy who was an independent contractor, his own promoter, in Floyd Mayweather Jr. And as a result of all the interest and the back and forth going on between boxing fans, you wind up having this really huge event where guys wind up making a ton of money. Manny Pacquiao ain't never stopped making a lot of money. Made a lot of money on the lead up to the fight with Floyd Mayweather Jr. with a bunch of pay-per-view events. Floyd Mayweather made a bunch of money on a bunch of pay-per-views in the lead up to the fight with Manny Pacquiao. And there you go. We all know that history. So fast forward to the year 2019, 2 weeks after the implosion of the Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua superstar making machine, with a loss, a shocking loss to Andy Ruiz. Just 2 weeks after that, you have Tyson Fury then elevated to this number one status in heavyweights, this superstar promotional activities going on for him and trying to build him up to be the next Jerry Cooney, I guess. Regardless, because I really do believe that Jerry Cooney was a very, very good fighter. I think Tyson Fury is a very, very good fighter. So, I'm not upset with this. I'm really not upset with this about this at all. Especially when I think about the fact that one of the reasons why I was and many of the people in the LDBC were so behind Deontay Wilder was that we thought that he was really being mistreated by the boxing world, because this guy is the longest reigning heavyweight champion. He's the most exciting, most spectacular heavyweight fighter that there is. We've been watching the guy not everybody's been watching him for 42 fights, but definitely for the last 20 fights, since he kind of broke onto the scene as being a heavyweight contender. Seeing this guy knock out guy after knock out somebody after knockout after knockout, brutal one-punch knockouts in all kind of different rounds, 9 successful title defenses. Just as he moved up in the level of competition that he's fighting, he continues to get better, continues to produce the same results. So he just couldn't understand why it was that the American media, and I still believe that to be the case with certain boxing commentators, Paulie Malignaggi and Steve Farhood, and I'm going to say that all the way through the rest of their day and for the rest of Deontay Wilder's career on those dudes, refused to promote him. Same way that it happened with Floyd Mayweather Jr. prior to him becoming this big mega superstar that nobody at this point can deny that he is or he was at the end of his career. If you recall, he was an underling for Oscar De La Hoya. And a lot of the same things were being said about Floyd Mayweather Jr. is being said about Deontay Wilder, including the Jose Luis Castillo fight, which was pointed out by his uncle, Roger Mayweather, in an interview that took place, and I can't remember what channel the interview was on, but he was asked after the Tyson Fury fight what he thought about Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, and he said that number one, he thought that draw was a fair draw, but he believed that Tyson Fury got a lot of extra credit for things that were outside of the ring. Him recovering from, his personal issues, the fact that people hadn't seen him fighting so long, the fact that many people who, just assumed that he was going to get knocked out, that he wound up getting extra credit. And as a result, but he thought that he's a great fighter. Same thing with Floyd. And then he compared that to Floyd Mayweather Jr., Jose Luis Castillo. He said before the Jose Luis Castillo fight, nobody had ever really hit Floyd Mayweather Jr. There were fights that he dominated. So the very first time that he had a fight that looked like it was some trouble, people gave Jose Luis Castillo a ton of credit, but what happened? The next fight, Floyd Mayweather Jr. comes back and he beats Jose Luis Castillo easy. And he talked about how, yes, Tyson Fury is an excellent boxer. He's got a lot of movement for a guy that's that big. He's got, he's tricky. He plays a lot of mind games. But then he proceeded to talk about how those mind games aren't going to work with Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder's not going to be buddy-buddy with him. That's not going to work on him. And he talked about the fact that Deontay Wilder, at any moment in any round of that fight, can knock you down in a manner where you're not going to get up. And that great equalizer for Deontay Wilder is why he thinks that Deontay Wilder would win the rematch. But he said, of course, can't count out Tyson Fury because Tyson Fury is such a great fighter. But all of these conversations, all these comparisons between the last major buildup of a fight, major buildup of a fight, which was Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao, are now present in Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. You're going to have two avid fan bases, growing fan bases. They're going to have a divide between them. And might I add that a whole bunch of those fans are going to be former Anthony Joshua fans who now have to find somebody to root for. But just so conveniently, they're given somebody who more than likely is a better fighter, who also is from the UK. So that portion of his fan base can still be there. It's peanut butter and chocolate makes Reese's Pieces. So, while I sit here and I talk about, and I'm going to talk about it, the double standards that are being put out here, but we know who the people are that are allowing these double standards to exist. They're the unbiased and objective people that will tell you that Tyson Fury won a fight that he didn't win and give him credit as the number one heavyweight, although he's not actually beaten a top 10 heavyweight in the last 4 years. But they will allow their unbiased minds to drift wherever they originally wanted it to go, because you start with the argument that you want to make and you justify it with whatever facts you can huddle and scramble and pile together in a weak ass little line to justify your point. Regardless, all of this, the drama that took place before Anthony Joshua got knocked out and the drama that is happening now that Tyson Fury knocked out Tom Schwartz. Actually, I think Tom Schwartz quit. So Tom Schwartz quit because he was viciously overmatched. All that stuff is going to work to the betterment of Deontay Wilder's pocketbook. And if Deontay Wilder is able to beat Tyson Fury by coming in at 225, 230 pounds against him, having been in the ring with him before, having seen his style before, having a rematch with him, if he's able to beat it, then, there you go, man. There you go. It winds up being a beautiful story for Deontay Wilder. And honestly, it's a good story for Tyson Fury as well. Because Tyson Fury, despite what I think about all this extra hoopla that is being slapped around on him by Bob Arum and people in the media who are willing to go along with it because they know if they don't, Bob Arum has no problem whatsoever snatching your press credentials from you. We're not going to let Teddy, hint, we ain't letting Teddy Atlas cover this fight because Teddy Atlas more than likely would have said, it's a bum bash. It's a bum bash. It's a bum bash. Anyway, you know the deal. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to look at the big picture, man. I'm going to look outside of this and say, you know, I hope Bob Arum is right, man. I hope Bob Arum is right. Because I do think Tyson Fury is a good guy. I do. I think there's some real questionable things about him. But I was a Tyson Fury fan before all this drama took place. I do think Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight in the UK. I do think that he's a better fighter than Anthony Joshua. And I'm glad that he's in a position of strength. I'm not gonna overlook, though, the fact that he ducked Deontay Wilder to fight Tom Schwartz. That has to be said. But since all this hoopla is gonna happen and there's really no way to stop it, I think it's kind of important to sit back and look at the big picture and say, you know what? They're really building Deontay Wilder's brand. They're making Deontay Wilder a bigger name. That whole conversation, all that telecast with ESPN, every bit of that was directed at Deontay Wilder. Every bit of it was directed at Deontay Wilder. The conversations that were taking place with Anthony Joshua before he lost to John Ruiz was all directed towards Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury, are you going to fight Deontay Wilder? Well, yeah, you know. Hey, Anthony Joshua, are you going to fight Deontay Wilder? Everybody wants to see Deontay Wilder fight. Now, you know the saying, like Floyd Mayweather saying, hey man, if they can pay you, or I think it might have been Muhammad Ali, doesn't matter, or through Gorgeous George. Hey, if they put their butt in that seat to see you lose, they paid. If they paid to come to support you, they paid. Anyway, you walk away successful. And of course, that's a paraphrase. And I think for a guy like Deontay Wilder, who picked up the sport of boxing at a late age so that he didn't have to do other things to take care of his daughter that was sick, hey man, it's a beautiful situation for that guy to be in. And if Bob Arum wants to make him richer, hey man, crank up the BS machines and let them roll. And with that, I'm out. Peace.